Thandanani, for me, it's a garden of hope. It's also a community garden supporting many families in this area around us. My name's Paul Cohen, and this is my friend Joseph Mwabaza. Thandanani Gardening Club is an organized group of around 90 women from the Mambula village in KwaZulu-Natal, who under the leadership of Joseph Mwabaza produce most of their own food in a 12-hectare community garden.
Silima laphayana inhlobanyana nje zithi ayibeninganyana ngoba silime ikabeshi, silime uanyanisi, silime ubheetroot, silime ispinach, silime utamatisi. Lengadi le ivele ngami ngithe mangibuya kusho ukuthi ukuhlangana kwami nomngani wami umngani wami uPaul le eGoli. Ubese ngisa lapha esikoleni sakhe eRustenburg safike wangikhombisa ukuthi izinto zakhe ihamba kanjani. Ilapho ke la kwafika khona uthando kumina ukuthi engathi nangapha la ngiphuma khona le yanto enhle kangaka ngabuya ibe khona lana. Ilapho ke la kwavuka khona le Thandanani.
In the late 1990s, Joseph spent 2 years at the Tleche village learning about sustainable farming and natural building technologies that support community self-reliance and rural livelihoods. We can see that there is a fair rate of land degradation taking place.
Ngibukile nje le ndawo ukuthi indawo lapho kuthiwa kusemakhaya nje impela kusho ukuthi nje indawo ngokuba iyona ingamatshe lokho okwenza besiba ilandscape yakhona yehlela kakhulu ubusuthola ukuthi mhlambe ubuyona manje mangibuka nje isithe ukuthi ayilimale kancane ngoba ishithi isetshenziswe kakhulu abantu ngokuba baningi kunelwane inkomo kunembongolo amadidonkeys then ngithola ukuthi ilandscape yakhona inhle kodwa yona isithe ukuphazamiseka kancane.
It's Joe's vision to reverse that.
Lapha sisesikoleni Mambulu Primary. Namhlanje lapha esikoleni kaMambulu kade sizotshala izihlahla.
Over the past 10 years, Thandanani has focused on establishing their community gardens and improving methods and yields. This year, with the support of the Global Environmental Facility's Small Grants Program and the Ruko Sustainability Trust, they have initiated a new program to improve the biodiversity in and around their village. This program is focused on the propagation and growing of indigenous plants, integrated with rainwater harvesting strategies. A key objective for Thandanani members is to involve the younger generation in protecting the environment and learning about the value of their natural capital as a source of medicines, food, fodder, and building materials.
Kudala imizi ekadilapha phezulu entabeni. Ngaleyo ndlela kwababekwazi ukuhamba khona lapho befike bawathola amanzi indawo kulezi ndawo bebawathola kuzona yayibizwa ukuthi isijodi igama laleyo ndawo babehamba befike bawathola amanzi ejodi bese bekwazi ukuthi bewaphuze kwakunawo emfuleni ayekhona kodwa babesebenzisa lawa phezulu lawa kodwa sahamba asha aphela.
The whole village currently relies on the water flow in the Mambula River. So at this time of the year, especially once the rains haven't come, the river supply is going underground and becoming more difficult. And people live on the slopes of the valley. So there's also this need to carry water from the river back up to homestead. That has a whole range of challenges. The women, have indicated very clearly is probably one of the most important factors that they would like to find some solution to.
Lapha sinokusizakala lapha masithola amanzi ngoba sizokwazi ukuthi siqhubeke noma ngabe sitshala manje nokutshala kwethu kuba kuncane ngoba kwenele ikhanda.
They must walk at least 3 or 4 kilometers every day just carrying water on their heads.
Kuyasho ukuthi kuyafuna ukuthi kube khona indlela yokukhandwa kwama-reservoir amakhulu azokwazi ukuthi agcine amanzi amaningi isikhathi eside. Lokho okudinga mhlambe abantu abaningi ukulekelela lokusho ukuthi kufunakala imali kule ndawo.
Yeah, it would take financially it would be quite expensive.
The first step is to fence in the area. so we can prevent livestock coming in.
I've investigated a ram pump, which is a pumping device that uses the kinetic energy of water to pump water from a low elevation to a high elevation.
Secondly is to look at a whole series of rainwater harvesting strategies.
Water catchment by putting dikes across so that any run of water can be caught and stored.
Larger collection dams underneath tree systems.
And there is also a borehole here to get some method of getting the water from the borehole to the gardens.
The water is also linked to other factors.
The background we're coming from, as African people, in terms of getting exposure to the new technology is a challenge.
Sometimes what happens is that some of the cultural root or some of the cultural integrity, the technology substitutes something. So in that substitution process, something is lost.
To apply technology, it should be in a minimal, because the technology you have to research first as to what impact, positively or negatively, it has. More we apply,
Seems that it's important that if communities, as they are taking on new technology, they have the time to think about the implications of that technology, so they can either adapt or change or reintroduce new ways while that technology is coming into a particular area. A case in point is the Tuleka composting toilet. The introduction of this technology has brought a safe way of managing human waste to this village. This sanitation technology brings together traditional building knowledge and materials and uses no water. The Mambula village generally has had no formal sanitation. People don't have any technology or a concentrated place where people go to the toilet. Uses a natural process of aerobic decomposition, which is the kind of bacterial decomposition that takes place in a garden compost heap. There's 2 batches of decomposition that takes place. People use one composting area for probably about 9 months to a year and a half. When they've completed that, they move on to another chamber, and this one settles down. The decomposing waste then is put into a hole where a tree is planted. So there is nutrient recovery as well. It connects into the local ecological cycle. It's environmentally sustainable.
A compost toilet can even be utilized in all the homestead. Then on homestead, I supply the waste into feeding back the soil. This is the only solution.
With the community projects, it's a common phenomenon that men are never there. Number one is that most of the men are in towns or cities going to fend for their families, and some of them never come back.
My sense is that communities like this one depend more on resources that must be purchased. The young men who have a lot of young energy and potential to earn money go out to look for money. So instead of men going into the environment to harvest resources, as might have happened a long time ago, they go to harvest money from the economy.
Amadoda yebo mpela akho thina nalamakhanda aqinile njoba sihlala la ehlahleni.
I know it's culture to go to the river, fresh water, and you'll now also go back and wanting to find out as to who, when the culture started, how and why it should be a woman to do that.
Inkinga ile hayi ngoba amadoda engayithandi ilokhundane isivande. Amadoda asithanda ngqo isivande.
Uma city that culture is a culture, then the men also should do the same. Go, fresh water, feed the garden.
Ngilungile nje mina mangithetela umama wakwami unkosikazi ahamba lapha evande. If either kufuneka imali yasevande ngizoyikhipha kodwa mina ngeke ngikwazi ukuya khona.
The solution will be the Isilo of KwaZulu is talking of education to young men, is talking of bringing back the circumcision culture back. That will assist to bring young men closer, to talk to young men and now make them understand they are leaving their homes and going to the cities. What a gap they leave behind. So now you try and encourage them to come and do some work here instead of running to the cities. Once they finish school, they want to rush to the cities and towns, and this is the problem that you cannot run away from. But we just have to slowly, introduce men into these kinds of work.
Thina siyathanda kodwa manje sihluleka kuya khona. Kodwa makuthiwa kuzobiwa, siyaya kobiwa.
Ngifike ngo-76, yena ushone ngo-1999. Ubengondla, engondlela futhi abantwana. Ngokuhamba kwakhe angibuyanga ngabe ngisathola ukondliwa. Saze-ke kwafika ugcwabaza-ke sathola ugcwabaza-ke kwase kuba-ke siyalima-ke ngithole-ke lokho okuncane lokho kwasey'vandini bese ngibuye ngichelele omama-ke ukuthi uma beholile banginike okuncane. UThandanani ungisize ngoba ngikwazile ukuthola imfino, ngakwazi futhi ukuthi ngithole labo mama abafuna ukuchelelwa. Ngakwazi ukuthi ngibuye ngizohlala ekhaya ngingabe ngisaba kude nabantwana ngoba basebancane.
Women had it. They told us, you know what, we never go to bed without food.
It's already self-sustaining, so make it more self-sustaining by putting water there, and then vegetables can be sold, and just not as a subsistence farming, as an actual profit organisation. Yes.
Ngoba nomphakathi wakhona ukhuthele kakhulu futhi uhlangene, angiboni ukuthi uyarisk uma uthatha imali yakho ufaka kuleli.
Mina kule ndlela lento mangiqala nje ngingena kuyona nje ngayizwa yangithatha yafana njengomuntu ongena esontweni ozinikele esontweni. Ngifana nomuntu okholiwe nje ngale ndlela engihamba ngayo, ngizizwa ngikhululekile ngaphakathi ngoba inempilo phakathi le ndlela engihamba ngayo. Ingikhulula ngaphakathi impela. Selongaqala nje ukuhamba ngayo futhi kukhona namhlanje ngijabulise kakhulu, ngizizwe ngathi ngizalwa kabusha namhlanje.